All right, guys, we're back here on Southeastern 16, presented by FanDuel. An SEC basketball Tuesday. Had some games last night, Max. I believe there were five, five games last
Six.
night. No, I think it was five, Max. Um,
Oh, yeah, five.
I think there were five. So we'll talk about those five games quickly. We're not going to get too much into them because really nothing of consequence in those five games from last night. And then we're going to give you a special pre Christmas edition of not only the bracketology, it's gut bracket time. I think it's our second
Yep.
of the season so
Second.
far. Yeah, these will start to pick up a bit once we get into conference play. We love our gut brackets in conference play, but yeah, I think it's only our second of the season. So
I think we've
we'll
done a
jump into
pretty
that.
good job at self-control on the gut brackets, Blake. Where
Wow.
we usually get into them.
Let's wait and see
Yeah.
before we get too excited about that. All right, here's what we're gonna do. Let's just quickly jump into the wins. What stood out with some of the wins? We're not gonna go game by game. I apologize to all these fan bases, but let's call it what it is. A lot of these games were 30 plus point spreads. What stood out the most, Max, from the five winners on the evening?
Well, only one team covered last night. The SEC almost full reverse swept on the spread. The only team to cover was Oklahoma, beating Stetson 107 to 54. That's 344th ranked Stetson. So really, not too much to go off of. But the one development was Darian Reed scores his career high, 22 points, made two threes. It maybe you find a little bit of offense with Darian Reed and Tay Davis moving forward. That was the best performance I thought of the night was Oklahoma. Only team that beat their analytical projection. They're up to 50th now in Ken Palm after dropping into the mid 60s earlier in the year. So trended in the right direction.
Yeah, I think Oklahoma's the team, as we said, that's gotten more interesting as things have gone along. Their resume has gotten better. It's not perfect, and we're going to get to the bracketology in a second. And they're a great case of a team that is fascinating entering SEC play. But yeah, I mean, they're up to 52 in the net now. That jumped them up 9 spots after that. And we always say anytime you're winning the way you're winning in a game like that, that's going to help you a bit in the analytics. But yeah, I mean, they're going to play Mississippi Valley State next Monday. The Delta Devils make their return to SEC competition. But I mean, yeah, I think that's with Oklahoma, they're at least a team that feels like performance wise is heading in the right direction. And too that win at Wake Forest, like
Mm.
they went in there and won a game like that. That's one that feels pretty nice for them to have on their resume entering conference play. So like the way, as you said, Reed's playing right now. You've got a pretty experienced team here, and you know we mentioned it yesterday. A very winnable opening slate. Home
Hmm.
against Ole Miss, at Mississippi State, at A&M, and you get chances to pull off upsets against Florida and Alabama at home. So yeah, I think the Sooners team to keep an eye on here for sure. I would put them on a short list of teams that may exceed expectations for some people early in SEC play. So
Blake, speaking of exceeding expectations, another another game for Mike White and the Georgia Bulldogs. Another triple digit performance. Another one. It did come against West Georgia, but who cares who it's against? The Georgia Bulldogs offense is humming. It's humming, Blake. They're up to 21st nationally in offensive efficiency. Their adjusted tempo to combine both your offensive and defensive tempo, third fastest team in the country. Only got one loss by 3 points in overtime.
yeah, I mean, I think as we said, remains to be seen on just 10 of their 11 wins or quad three, quad four. You can only beat who's in front of you, and I think they're a team that we will really start to get a good gauge on that first week or so of SEC play, home against Auburn at Florida. So two big opportunities, but we also have said like it's about the performance, and performance-wise, how can we knock anything Georgia's doing right now? I mean, even in the Clemson loss, that team did not play bad, and so I keep looking at that and I'm thinking, you know, there is a big gap between Vanderbilt and Georgia in terms of resumes. There's no question about that. But if you're just talking impressive performances and a team that has seemingly figured out what it does well, and they are just going to milk that cow as long as they can, like that's what they're doing right now. They're playing a style that is working well for them. And I mean, again, if you'd asked me in the summer, who's going to be one of the most exciting teams to watch in college basketball, who's going to be putting up 100 plus with ease, I would not have said the Georgia Bulldogs. So that's been the biggest swing and the miss for me so far this season. Because again, even though maybe we could have predicted an 11-1 record, I don't think we could have predicted them to look as good as they've looked or be this impressive the way they've been offensively. And oh, by the way, they're actually playing some pretty good defense too. If you look at their defensive numbers, their offensive opponents will get better, but actually getting after it on defense too. So
Yeah, didn't have Cannon catchings last night, but that was due to illness. So he'll be fine. Like one development that we haven't really touched on too much this year, and I'm glad you just brought up the defense. I was going to talk about Samto Cyril's rim protection. He's top 20 right now in the country in block rate. 12 games on the year. Only 2 of those 12 games he hasn't had multiple blocks. He's had a block in every single game, and in 10 out of the 12 games, it's multiple. He tied his season high last night, 4 blocks. If you look at the KenPom player comps, Samto Cyril's got some really good player comps right now. Festus Ezeli and Folly Dante. Oh boy, do we know about Dante at Oregon? He's got some good number projections right now protecting the rim.
all right, to quickly wrap up these other 3 games, South Carolina 95-70 win over South Carolina State. Texas 94, Maryland Eastern Shore 71. That game was probably closer than people wanted it to be at halftime. It was a 6-point game. And then speaking of halftime, Prairie View put up 56 on LSU at halftime. Not what you want to see if you're an LSU fan. I'm looking at that score thinking, are you kidding me right now? LSU is the SEC about to drop one of these right before Christmas? And didn't happen. LSU winds up winning by 14. But defense was not the name of the game in that game. So of the other 3, that's what stood out the most to me.
Yeah, I'm following that one on the box score, and it was about 15 minutes into the first half. I'm like, okay, just this is one of those games where it's the large spread against a mid-major, and it's close for a while, and then you check the final score, and they ended up covering somehow. They ended up going on a 15-20 run.
Prairie View was up 10 with like 16 minutes left in the second half, and I'm thinking,
yeah, what is going on? Rick was probably heart rate increased a little bit there on an unexpected Prairie View A&M game on a Monday night. That was not ideal, and maybe it's the best thing that could have happened to LSU. Coming off of a decent non-conference schedule, you lost the biggest game, but you won the second biggest game against SMU, and you did it by 12 points. Kind of get sent back down to come back, not sent back down to earth, but just like how it's a nice response. Get the defense tightened up a little bit. Analytics have dropped back outside the top 70. That 3-point defense has got to get cleaned up. It's one of their worst categories, offense or defense, is their defensive 3-point percentage. So I don't know. Maybe it could be a good thing if you're looking at a silver lining. You're going to come off of a win here, and Matt McMahon is just going to be pissed and not satisfied with the defense. So could be a good thing going into starting against the Aggies, who are going to launch 1,000,000 threes that first game, Blake.
Yeah, LSU dropped 7-41 in the net. But they're another one, though, still. It's like they do have the one quad one win. That was against who? SMU?
SMU.
I'm missing somebody. Their other 10 wins have come, 7 in quad 4, 3 in quad 3. So, like we said, and this is where I keep bringing up Georgia and LSU because I think they're the 2 teams that really, if you just look at it from a resume standpoint to this point, like they got to have some more meat on the bone here, and they'll have a lot of opportunity to do that in SEC play. So, to me, they're the ultimate like swing teams when it comes to how many teams the SEC gets into the tournament right now. because it's not going to take much for Georgia to start moving back if, let's say, they hit a skid because they don't have enough of the impressive wins, even though they've outperformed based on just beating teams by 30 or whatever. So, yeah, it's interesting. All right, anything else before we get to the other game? I just don't have a lot to say.
No, I don't have too much on Texas or South Carolina. Just took care of business and won.
Yeah. So 2 other teams that are looking to add a bit of a punch to their resumes. Texas officially done in non-conference play. So their next game will be against Mississippi State on January 3rd. South Carolina plays Albany on the 30th. So, all right. Apparently, there was another game that took place last night. Chad has let me know that. It was Missouri and Illinois, and the Illini get a 91-48 win. Yes, 91-48. If you're watching that game, as I was for a while, I'm thinking, okay, this is going to be one of those games. You're watching early on, you're thinking, all right, yeah, this might be a close game. Missouri's coming out, making some shots. Illinois is coming out, making some shots. Then the lead kind of pushed out to 8. Then it gets to 10. And I'm like, all right, well, it may just be one of those where Missouri just, can't keep up. Well, more than not keep up. They got beat by 43 here. And you want to talk about what that does to you in the analytics. Missouri dropped from 67 in the net to 92.
Because they're 92 in the net?
Yeah, they dropped 25 spots.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, they went from 67 to 92. Missouri way outside the NCAA tournament conversation right now. And we mentioned that felt like the biggest game of the season for them to this point based on the fact that they did not really have a resume yet. And, I mean, I almost felt like we went into this saying, all right, you really need to win, but if you lose, it's not going to hurt you that much, right? Because it's Illinois, it's a good team, could be a 2 seed, 3 seed, whatever. But when you lose by 43, that hurts you a lot. And we mentioned it's not just that. Now you're telling me you're a 43-point loss team that gets a little time to rebound here. They don't play again until January 3rd. But you got to rebound at home against the defending national champion Florida Gators, and then you got to go to a surging Kentucky team on January the 7th. It's a bad stretch here. So,
yeah, we did the preview and we said, the reason why this one might be a little bit more interesting than a 9.5, 10.5 point spread that the odds are showing is because of desperation. That Missouri absolutely must have this game. They must have it. If they do not win this game, they're not going to have a top 100 win in the analytics in the entire non-conference with a strength of schedule right now that's 350th in the country. Needed that one. And I will say, no Jaden Stone, no Trent Pierce, no Javon Porter is hurting this perimeter offense. It really is. Missouri's one of those teams that coming into the season, we were like, I like the free throw rates with Mark Mitchell, the addition of Sean Phillips, and man, they had just like a conglomerate of bigs. You didn't really know how the rotation was going to shake out. But the one thing that we did kind of circle was, all right, besides Jacob Cruz, the three-point shooting it doesn't look like there's too much three-point shooting. And without Jaden Stone, without Trent Pierce, without Javon Porter, man, it just 6 of 22. The three-point shooting isn't there. The rebounding isn't there. Only 12 defensive rebounds. Illinois had more offensive rebounds, 15, than Missouri had defensive rebounds. Illinois offensive rebounded 55.6% of their misses. It was north of a 50% chance that if they missed the shot, they'd get an extra opportunity. So right now, if you look at Torvik's projection for Missouri, they have a 6.9% chance to make the tournament. Way on the outside looking in.
That's too high. I hate to say that feels high.
I'll be honest. I watched Dennis Gates' post-game press conference, Blake, and there was no sense of like, this is I think he was just doing a really good job at trying to play like damage control and right before the holidays and everything, but I did not get the sense that it was a coach that is going to leave his non-conference schedule without a top 100 win with a 7% chance of making the tournament. It was like a lot of like, I can't wait to get our guys back. I can't wait to get healthy. It's hurting us right now. It's like, hey, it's January. Oh my, your next game is January. There's no time for that. You're gonna miss the tournament. I wanted more urgency.
Yeah, but you know what? That's I think that's who he is. Like, and I think Missouri fans would push back on that and say, well, it's not that different than the Mark Pope thing, where it's like people wanted Mark Pope to go out and suplex somebody through a table after the Gonzaga game, but it's just not who he is. It's just not the demeanor. And I think Gates has just always been just kind of the quiet confidence type, and the reason why is he learned that from his mentor Leonard Hamilton the same way. Never get too high, never get too low. Like, I just feel like that's the approach, and not everybody's going to agree with that. And especially after a frustrating loss like this, like, you're not going to be happy, and you probably do want your coach to go out and suplex someone through a table, but it's just not going to happen. And so, that's the thing too, though. You can say, well, let's say the NCAA tournament, let's say Missouri's a bubble team, and the tournament committee is, going to be sitting there saying, all right, well, they didn't have 3 key players basically in this game, right? Well, it's one thing if you lose by 5. It's another thing if you lose by 43. And I think that's where that's only going to take you so far in those instances. So, is Missouri a better team with the guys they're missing? Yes. Would it have mattered in this game? I don't think so. In terms of like winning, I think Illinois was just not if they played like that. There wasn't an SEC team beating Illinois last night if they played like that, hitting 15 threes and just kind of having their way with things. So, so I think that's kind of where I'm at with Missouri. They're not an NCAA tournament team right now. Again, I don't think they're anywhere close. And I mean, Ant Robinson started well. That was what I was like watching the game earlier. I'm like, all right, okay. Like, I talked this guy up in the preview. All right, let's go. Like, this is he's going to have to be a big scoring game. But, they said it too. It's like, he hasn't always had to be just kind of that top scorer type guy. His facilitating ability is unquestioned, like his defensive ability and all that. But, man, I'm starting to think right now, if this guy's not getting close to 20, it just, I don't know. But like I said, last night was kind of just the ultimate whammy of you just didn't play well. The other team was red hot. You're missing some key guys, and everything came together in just an embarrassing loss. Sometimes that happens, and not going to make it any easier with the fan base, especially a fan base that kind of has had the ups and downs that Missouri fans have had in this era. So,
one thing that's really holding them back right now is that 2 spot next to Ant Robinson, because Sebastian Mack from UCLA, his offense just has not been able to get going. Just has not been there. Same with Honor Boateng. Just does not have that perimeter threat. And then if you look at, I was actually looking at this last night because we're going to do our awards, guys, little non-conference awards. And I was just looking at like Evan Mia's defensive ratings and offensive ratings, and the lowest defensive rating in the entire conference right now, players that have at least played 150 possessions, kind of as Mia's benchmark, it's T.O. Barrett, lowest defensive rating in the conference. So that Jaden Stone replacement right now, Jaden Stone's really, really hurting them right now. They need him bad.
All right. Well, I don't have anything else to add. If you watched it, you saw it. What else do you want me to say? Missouri looked terrible, and we'll see if they can turn it around, but a very tough schedule. To do that, got to get some guys back in the lineup for sure. All right. Let's get to the fun stuff. Before we get into it, let's tell you about our friends at the Yearly Company. Speaking of awards, I think we decided we're going to do those on Friday.
Nice.
We will have a special Yearly Company and ROKFORM award. You guys are going to appreciate that. So if you're like Sam Smith right now, I think Sam said he's sitting on the side of the road waiting for roadside assistance at the moment. And you're thinking, what can I do other than watch Southeastern 16 to fill the time? Well, you can head over to our friends at the Yearly Company and buy some jewelry because, as you know, they are excellent. And if I had the ad read copy in front of me, I'd give you more great words. So I'm going to try to remember it off the top of my head. Nashville-based fine jewelry brand, built on tradition, designed for meaning. Each piece handcrafted, solid 14-karat gold, natural gemstones, backed by a lifetime guarantee. Every yearly company bangle is custom sized, so knowing your size is the most important step. Before ordering, it's the holiday season. Get your ordering in now. If you order today, it will not be there by Christmas. I can guarantee you that right now. They're fantastic people, but they're probably not going to be able to get it to you by tomorrow or Thursday. Keep that in mind. However, it's the gift that keeps on giving year-round over the yearly company. And so, 100% off the sizing kit. You got to know your size before you order. SC16 kit, SC16 kit, over at the yearly company. 100% off the sizing kit. Check it out over there. ROKFORM, ROKFORM.com, the world's strongest magnetic phone case. Extreme protection, super strong magnets, rock lock, secure mounting. SEC25 is the code for 25% off over at ROKFORM. So, our special yearly company ROKFORM awards for non-conference play will be given out on Friday. All right. By the way, I'm going to bring this up real quick before we get to it. And Kyler says the same problem with Gates every year. No defense, no rebounding. This year, don't have the shooting to make up for it. I don't completely disagree with that at all. I think the shooting is really the element that they have been missing. Now, they're shooting 37%, which is top 70 in the country. But when you have some deficiencies in defensively and rebounding to the level that they do, you need to be like a great, great shooting team. You know, Max, like you need to be a team that is, I mean, let's call it what it is. You need to be a team kind of like they were, I don't know, several years ago, right? And that team shot 36%. So like, but it felt like they were a little bit more dynamic in terms of their approach. And Caleb Grill last year got him out of a lot of those just because he was so good. So can Cruz be that guy? I think he can be, but I just think the defense and that has to be better. They're not going to happen. So.
Well, that team percentage is a little bit skewed just because of Jacob Cruz. Cruz
right,
has
just one, yeah.
He's at 51% with 38 makes. 38 makes is the top on the team. The next best is Ant Robinson with 15.
Yeah,
so it's like, yeah, they're shooting. The team is shooting 70%, but it's just because Cruz is at 51, and then it falls off a cliff.
Yeah. All right, let's get to Justin's super chat here. $2 super chat. The streak continues. Grateful for the community here. Go Doors. Merry Christmas. Yes.
Yes.
Merry Christmas to all out there. I think Alan hopped off earlier. We appreciate Alan. That was a good week here. And all right, let's get to the updated bracketology.
Oh, man, I haven't seen this.
We're going to do the bracketology, and we're going to do our gut bracket. And by the way, don't forget, if you're a member, an MVP or legend, that is, that's the tier you have to be in. We're doing our special Southeastern 16 mailbag right after this show. So live for our MVPs and legends right after the show. So we'll get to that. Before we get to everything else, though, Jeff just dropped a super chat, $5. We appreciate it, Jeff. Still not sure what to think about my Gators. Hopefully league play will answer your questions. I think it will answer your questions. And I think the Gators are heading in the right direction. Lee has been a big part of that. And I still think Florida can win the SEC. And I think their schedule, as Max has noted, sets up nicely to do that. So, yeah, I think Florida's going to be fine, honestly. I'm not saying they're going to win the national title, but I think they're going to be fine.
Jeff, I've ranked the Gators number 2 in my power rankings the past 2 weeks. I am loving what I am seeing from the Gators. I think they're going to win the league. They're my pick right now to win the league.
All right. Well, if you want to join Max in picking the Gators to win the league, they have the third best odds at the moment over at FanDuel. So if you feel like they're only going to go up, they're currently plus 410 to win the SEC over at FanDuel. So, all right. Here we go. It's time.
Right.
How do we do this last time? You need screenshots? Right. You need screenshots, right?
I think we just pulled the browser
last
up.
time you said we needed screenshots. All right. You're right. Let's get to it here. Okay.
There we go, EJ. Join me, EJ. It's really going out on a limb there. I wouldn't expect you to make such a pick.
Wait, Justin asks, who has the hardest SEC schedule? We can track that, right?
We did that.
No.
I think we did it in the off season. I think we decided on either Kentucky or Texas, right?
Yeah, I think Kentucky or Texas was the two. Mississippi State maybe also. I'm not sure. All right. All right, let's
Texas's
see what we
first 3
got.
road games of conference play, first 3 road games, Tennessee, Alabama, Kentucky.
Yeah, I think you're right about that. So, all right, here we go. Bracket watch updated by Lenardi this morning.
Ooh.
Top seed Michigan, first team out Oklahoma State, last team in is Oklahoma. So there you go. Have some fun with that. All right, let's continue on. On the bubble. Here we go, Max. You get the last 4 byes: UCF, Villanova, Miami, Indiana, Baylor, Ohio State, Butler, and Oklahoma. First 4 out: Oklahoma State, Boise State, Cal, Arizona State, New Mexico, Virginia Tech, VCU, Wisconsin. So kind of shows you only one SEC team in this group, which means there's a
Okay.
lot of SEC teams not even in that top 8 out right now. So a lot of room for movement here, for sure.
So if Oklahoma is in, then either Lenardi has us at 10 teams, or someone is omitted that I don't think should be omitted.
Yeah, I think you know the answer to that question.
I
Because
don't.
I think you do. Because there's no one that I think that should even be in range in like the bubble outside of Oklahoma. I don't right now. I don't think you can justify it. So, all right, here we go. We're gonna run through the bracketology first, then we're gonna do our gut bracket. Deal? So,
Deal.
hide your eyes in the Midwest if you're a Vanderbilt hater, because the Commodores are number 2 seed now in the Midwest, in Chicago, playing Northern Colorado. There, you also in the Midwest have Georgia, who's an 8 seed. They've dropped a little bit, and if you're wondering why, Georgia just does not have anything in the first 2 quads right now, and that's what's hurting them, I think, in terms of the metrics. So, I'll tell you what, though, I wouldn't mind seeing Michigan and Georgia. Now, that could be an entertaining basketball game right there, if that was the way it played out. So, Oklahoma's here,
115
by
to
the way.
105.
Yeah, Oklahoma would be here against Butler in the play-in, and then would face Texas Tech. So, there you go. Midwest.
I like
What do you
that
think about the
setup.
Commodores? Moving to 2.
Moving to, I mean, hey, can't complain. If you were a Commodore fan with a 2 seed, come on. I wouldn't push back if they were a 3 either though. Two or 3 is good with me.
Well, I'm just going to, once again, we're stating facts here. I'm just going to give you a quick fact check on why Vanderbilt is a 2 now, if you're trying to figure it out. They're number 6 in the net. They have 3 quad 1 wins, 3 quad 2 wins, which is 6 combined. 3 plus 3 gives them 2 more quad 1 plus quad 2 wins than any other SEC team right now. And yeah, I mean, I don't know what else we're supposed to say. They're the only SEC team with 3 true road wins at this point, and their metrics and analytics are just they're tremendous. So I don't know what else to
Tied
say.
for the most quad 1A wins as well. If you want to just look at the most elite metric, 4 teams in the SEC have 2 quad 1A wins. Vanderbilt is the only team undefeated in quad 1A. So if you want to talk about, haven't played anyone elite, well, they tied for the league lead in quad 1A wins.
Yeah. I saw someone make the comment yesterday, and I think there's some truth to it. And I'm not knocking Georgia here, but someone said Georgia is what people think Vanderbilt is. And I'm not saying that in terms of performance. I'm saying that like in terms of resume. Like they're not wrong there. Like again, Georgia's resume, there's not really anything to work with. But it's just such a clear gap right now with Vanderbilt's resume and a team like Georgia and or really several other SEC teams at the moment. So, and see, this is I think it's a fair opinion. Like you can say, hey,
Sure.
you just don't see it sustaining through league play. And that's why we keep saying, like, we're telling you the numbers that stand right now.
Mm-hmm.
This isn't a projection for March. This is where things stand at this moment. So, again, we're going to keep repeating that. All right, to the west. Florida's a 5 in San Diego. Good for Big Gator EJ. And is that it? That's it. So they're playing Utah Valley, and then we'll play Nebraska in the second round. I'd be okay with a little Florida-Nebraska ball matchup in San Diego.
So. A little condo versus rink mast? Sign me up. Sign me up.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind
Florida
that.
Well,
the rematch.
I don't know if Florida wants the one. I don't know if that's what you want. I don't think you do. Sorry.
Jimmy,
get
back.
No, I don't think you want Arizona right now. I mean, in a bracket, I wouldn't want to. So,
I don't think anyone wants to
um,
see Arizona.
yeah, I don't think so either. All right, so that's it for the West. In the East, we have LSU at a 9.
Ooh,
They moved up. Tennessee's a 5, playing Yale, of course.
yeah, shocker.
And another rematch, Tennessee Illinois here. Wouldn't hate that rematch. Arkansas has dropped to a 6, and there's going to be some pushback on that. I'll tell you why in a second. Auburn's dropped to a 7, and yeah, so that's kind of your setup there. The thing about Arkansas right now with their resume, they're 28 in the net, which is not bad, but 7 of their 9 wins have come in quad 3 and quad 4. So I think, again, just from a metric standpoint, that's why Arkansas is going to be a little lower than people would expect. Remember, guys, it's not about how many wins you have against ranked teams. It is simply about your overall body of work. And I actually mentioned it earlier in the season. You know, it shouldn't be this way, but Arkansas they would be penalized, and they are getting penalized in the metrics for only beating Sanford by 4, only beating Winthrop by 1, and I mean that's just how it goes, right? So it's silly. It really does seem silly that that's how it works, but there you go. So
I'll tell you what, just looking at that region, I mean, Tennessee's a dangerous 5. That's going to be a 5 seed with a top 10 defense led by a
yeah,
Jacoby Gillespie offense. And you got Nate Amen in there. And with that front
yeah,
court, Illinois is a 4. That's dangerous. Arkansas is a 6. Jeez,
yeah.
that's a loaded region. I mean, even Auburn, UCF. Have you seen UCF, what UCF's doing yet? They've only lost that one game to Vanderbilt. UCF's rolling right now. Like,
Yep,
not a
they
bad
are.
team at all. Top 45 in the analytics. That's a loaded region. Wow.
Yeah. By the way, someone did bring up, I think it was Doc in the chat, brought up bracket matrix. And I'll tell you the reason I don't use bracket matrix right now. The problem with bracket matrix at this point in the season, you're still incorporating brackets that simply haven't been updated in like a week
Yeah.
or so.
Yeah.
And I just think it's a terrible way to judge when there's so many games that have been played. Like, yes, there are quite a few brackets that have been updated, in the past couple days, but you're still factoring in brackets that are just out of date at this point. And so I just don't think I can go off of that as much. And again, we're not always saying Lenardi's the end all be all. I get it, but we're going to go with an updated bracket versus, I think, just brackets that are being incorporated without actual data from recent games. So, yeah, so that's kind of, and we can kind of compare and contrast. Like even bracket matrix right now, Vanderbilt's the last 2, Alabama's the first 4, Arkansas is a 5, Tennessee's a 5, Florida's the first 6. So there's a swap. Again, it's not. Oh, okay, gotcha. I see what you're saying, Doc. Okay, gotcha on the rankings. All right, South. We've got Alabama dropped to a 4, playing
Okay.
Lipscomb. You've got Kentucky up to a 7, playing St. Louis in St. Louis. But yeah, Kentucky Purdue. How about that? The rematch as well.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
yeah,
So who are the 5 seeds from the top 2? Because we've got North Carolina, Tennessee, and then who are the 5s from the top 2 regions?
Texas Tech,
Florida
Florida.
and my gosh, Florida, Texas Tech, Tennessee, and North Carolina are your 5 seeds.
Yep.
I might take them all. I might take them all.
Well,
That's so
again,
good.
that's where you're going to see some clear separation um, once these conference games get started. So you're just gonna have a lot more room to navigate with your resume and such. So yeah. All right, you ready?
Got bracket?
Gut bracket. Here we go. I
Oh
think yeah,
gosh.
we're just gonna do each of us make picks. That's how we did it last time. So all right, I think we're both taking Michigan. Fair to say.
Well, Long Island has looked. Yeah, I'll take Michigan.
Georgia Seton Hall, the 8-9. Give me the dogs.
Give me the dogs. Seton Hall's looked really good though.
All right, Texas Tech versus Butler, Oklahoma. I got Texas Tech.
Texas Tech.
Louisville versus Bill and Mary. Great couple.
Got me off guard there.
Louisville. Iowa versus Tulsa.
You guys know I'm biased with my Hawkeyes. They were my preseason underrated team. I got to go with
Yeah. Well,
McCollum and the
spoiler
crew.
alert. Adios, Iowa, in the next round. Houston, Arkansas State. Give me Houston.
Yeah, Cougs.
USC, Villanova.
Ooh, give me Must Bus. Come on,
Yeah. Vanderbilt, Northern Colorado.
Vandy.
Give me the upset. Give me Northern Colorado. I'm just kidding. Get out of here with that
Get out of
nonsense.
here.
Vanderbilt. Michigan and Georgia in the second round.
Oh, that's one of the 8-9 games. They're always tricky, Blake. They're always tricky. I'll go Michigan.
I'm going to go Michigan. Here's a fun one. Louisville, Texas Tech.
Holy smokes, what a matchup. What a perimeter matchup. Who are you gonna pick? Who are you gonna pick?
It's simply a matter of who do you trust more. I trust Texas Tech more. Texas Tech.
I was gonna go Tech.
Yeah. All right. Houston, Iowa. Come on, Max. Come on.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Houston. Yep, can't do it.
Houston is the pick. Vanderbilt versus the Must Bus.
That's a fun second round matchup.
Mm-hmm.
That would be a close. That would be one of the like the 1-8-9 or 2-7 spreads that are like 4.5, 5.5. You know, a tight second round matchup. I'll go Vandy.
You know, a lot of people out there. It's kind of a predicament for some fans. Do you want to root for the Must Bus against the hated Commodores, or you want to move the Commodores forward? Come on. Muss has worked his magic in March so many times that it ain't happening against the Quad 1A superiors in the Commodores of Vanderbilt. Give me the Mark Byingtons to the Sweet 16. All right.
Must Bus took a hit with Rodney Rice and your fantasy.
Yeah.
Sorry to bring that up.
Yeah. Thanks for bringing that up. My fantasy season is over. Terrible. Don't ever play best ball. You lose a guy for the season, and that's it. Like your season. Like I've had Jalen Lowe, who's been playing with one shoulder. It's brutal. It's brutal right now. All right, Michigan, Texas Tech.
At Michigan, I don't think Texas Tech's got the bigs there.
Yeah, I want to go Michigan. Houston and Vanderbilt.
Wow. I'll go Houston. I think Kingston Flemings is gonna be one of the best players in all college basketball by the time March rolls around. He might already be. I'll go Houston. They're impressing me.
You really want me to ruffle some feathers here by picking the Commodores, who, by the way, are the higher seed in this game.
Yep.
You really want me to ruffle some feathers if I pick Vanderbilt and we get a Vanderbilt-Michigan showdown. Last year, when we had SEC teams that were hot, we didn't care where they were seated. We went all in on that SEC team, and we said, well, I'm riding them all the way to the Final Four. So, Max, this year I'm here to tell you that I'm picking Houston. So, apologies to Justin and others, but I just think that would not be a great matchup. Give me the Cougars in what would be, I think, a national championship game in the Elite Eight.
Yeah.
And that is Michigan and Houston. My goodness.
Smokes.
Wow.
Oh, man. That's just an incredible matchup. I like Michigan's depth of size a little bit more, but I like Houston's guard play much more.
Tough one.
The gut. What's the gut saying? The gut is going.
Look,
the gut's
man,
going. Michigan.
I can keep trying to talk ways around Michigan being overrated somehow, but I can't do it. Like they're not. They are fantastic.
Michigan.
So I'm going Michigan, even though I'm a Kelvin Sampson guy. I'm gonna go Michigan. So
that would be a fantastic matchup, though.
Yeah.
We do have some Houston in the chat. Holly's would pick Houston.
All right.
David says Houston.
All right, that's fine. So, yeah.
Alan wants to know what the heck happened to Blake picking against Calvin Sampson.
I picked against Vanderbilt and I picked against Kelvin Sampson in back-to-back. That to me shows you how much
what's going on.
I think of Michigan right here. Okay, Dusty May. I mean, it doesn't get any better than the former Florida Gator assistant coach Dusty May. I'm not sure. So I mean, look, it's a gut bracket for right now. How on earth could I pick against Michigan based on what they're doing at the moment? So I'm picking Michigan, man. So I'm a Michigan
Yep.
man. What do you think? So,
I'll go
all right.
Michigan as well.
Yeah. But again, Vanderbilt, maybe in the next gut bracket. We'll see. So we'll see. Okay. What do we do here? Do we go down or we go to the west? I think we just go over to the west, right?
Just go to the
So,
West.
all right. Arizona and Vermont. You got any
No,
John
give
Becker
me no,
love for this one?
no.
No. All
Arizona.
right. St. Mary's and SMU. It's interesting. I like that
That,
game.
that is an interesting game. I'll go St. Mary's.
Yeah, I think I will too. So, I think I'm going to go St. Mary's. By the way, Doc, I'm going to push back on the idea that Michigan hasn't been tested yet. I disagree. I mean, I'm not saying they played all top 10 teams, but to say the Zags, they beat them by 40, beat Auburn by 30. I don't know. I don't know. We'll see. But man, they've been on a roll.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I'll take St. Mary's. Florida, Utah Valley. You kidding me? You telling me that Utah Valley thinks they're going to come into Big Gator EJ's home of San Diego and push the Gators around? Not today. Give me Florida.
Rock lock Gators over the Valley. Rock lock.
What about Nebraska and Quinnipiac?
Nebraska. Nebraska's a 4. Wow.
Have we picked an upset anywhere so far? I gotta find one somewhere.
These
So
mid majors aren't that good. There hasn't been a good.
This is a gut bracket. I can't do my research on Quinnipiac just yet. So, all right, give me Nebraska.
Yeah.
All right. St. John's versus Baylor, Ohio State. Boy, that's an interesting trio there.
I'll go Ohio State here. I'll go Ohio State. Bruce Thornton, guards win in March.
Well, I'm gonna stick with St. John's. Michigan State versus St. Thomas. I'm gonna go Michigan State.
Yeah, Michigan State there.
Utah State and Miami.
Oh, I haven't seen much of Utah State of the Utah State Aggies this year. Have you?
No, I haven't.
7, man. I'll go Miami. I'll go Malik Renew and Trey Donaldson. Go Miami.
Is Fade the Mountain West still a thing in the first round?
Yes. Yes.
All right. Well, then I guess I got to go Miami too. So, all right. Zags and New Mexico State. Zags.
There. Yep.
Arizona, St. Mary's.
No West Coast action. Arizona.
Florida, and Nebraska.
Florida. Rock lock again.
Yeah, I'm going Florida. Michigan State, St. John's. Or Ohio State.
Or Ohio State. Yeah. What has gotten into me? Give me a little Ohio State 11 seed. There's always a play-in game. There's always an 11 play-in that makes a little run. Michigan State, they'll have seen Ohio State already. A Big Ten matchup. I haven't picked an upset all bracket yet. Give me Ohio State, the 11, making a little run.
My upsets are coming in the bottom half. Michigan State on this one. Zags, Miami, Zags.
Zags.
All right, Arizona, Florida, the rematch.
Holy smokes. Gators revenge. Does not happen. And the Wildcats win another one.
Yeah, I'm going Arizona. Sorry, Big Gator EJ.
Sorry,
the
Chris.
thing is, this one moved outside of San Diego to San Jose. So, yeah, sorry, Chris. I'm going to go Arizona. Although, don't forget, Tommy Lloyd did lose to Princeton. So, but this team's different. Chris just unsubscribed. He's out of here. Man, just think of it. Like our picks this year. We were so SEC heavy last year for obvious reasons. I mean, man, we're sending everybody out in the Sweet 16 so far. Who we got here?
Bracket. We still got half a bracket.
Yeah, we do. I got the Zags, Michigan State. Who have you got? Ohio State?
Zags, Ohio. Yeah, I'll go Zags. Zags.
Well, that's yeah, Ohio State's not. It's not going to happen. Um, ooh. Hmm.
Zags or Michigan State? That's a tough game.
Give me Michigan State.
All right. All right.
Give me Michigan State.
Izzo.
All right. I got Arizona, Michigan State. You got Arizona and the Zags.
Yeah. And I'm going Arizona. Going 1-1 at the top. Gonna get all wild on the bottom.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Arizona too. I think they're the two best teams right now. So,
I do too.
all right, no suspense on the top half so far.
Let's get crazy.
But now it's time to get wild because we're heading to the nation's capital for the East, and this is where I think all hell is about to break loose in my bracket when I look at this. All right, UConn and Colgate.
Colgate loses to UConn.
Yeah, UConn. Clemson, LSU.
I do love our fighting Matt McMahons. I'm not going to pick against the fighting Brad Brownells either. Give me Clemson.
Yep, I'm going to take Clemson too in this one. Tennessee and Yale. Uh-oh.
Oh,
Now, listen.
Kenny Loggins getting a call here?
If we're being honest with ourselves, if there's an SEC team in this range that I don't think you want to see against Yale, it's Tennessee. Just because of the offensive potential to just completely come out flat. This one worries me. I'm not going to lie to you. I got to have a 12-5 somewhere. I'm thinking about it. But I can't do it. I'm picking the Vols. Come on. It's Yale. We're done with those bums. Get them out of here. Tennessee.
Give me the Vols. Come
on. Illinois and High Points. Uh-oh.
High Point. Sneaky.
I got no upsets, man. I got to find one somewhere here.
I want to, but Illinois is too tall, too deep, Illinois.
Man. I'm looking over, and I just don't see where my upsets are coming here. Yeah, but it's a gut bracket, man. You go with your gut here.
You got it.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Illinois on this one. All right, Arkansas and Indiana.
Indiana doesn't have the front court. They do not have the front court to withstand the Hogs. 6 seed moves on.
Yeah, I'm going Arkansas here. Not really thinking twice about it. Kansas and Oakland.
Oakland.
I knew you were going to do that.
Come on. Greg Campy.
Give me Kansas. Auburn and UCF.
I'm telling you, UCF has looked good lately. They are a team on the rise, but I cannot pick against Stephen Pearl's first March Madness game as head coach. Give me Stephen Pearl and the Tigers.
Yeah, I'm taking Auburn. Duke and East Tennessee State.
Duke.
All right, UConn and Clemson.
That's tricky. That's tricky. UConn, though.
Yeah, give me UConn. Tennessee, Illinois, the rematch. I got the Vols. I think Tennessee shuts them down defensively this time. Give me the Vols.
Shuts them down?
16.
Shuts them down? I'll go Vols too. Yep.
Arkansas and Kansas.
Arkansas and Oakland, you mean?
Oh.
Give me the Hogs.
Oh, that's right. You picked Oakland. Jeez. Okay,
I'm throwing something there. Come on.
All right. I'm going Arkansas. I think 6 seed's too low. Everybody abandoned ship after the Houston loss. I don't know why. Duke, Auburn.
Duke.
UConn and Tennessee. Yeah, Holly, this is probably the lamest gut bracket we've ever done. Like, our guts are just we're way too festive right now. I think we're just trying to,
Tennessee against UConn. I will say UConn has struggled a little bit against superior front courts. play Caravan at the 4 and get overpowered a little bit by big Jalen Carey. But I think the offense of UConn would be too much over the course. My gut's telling me UConn.
Yeah, I'm going UConn. Okay, we got the rematch, Duke and Arkansas. I got to get wild somewhere. I'm going hog wild. Give me Arkansas.
Okay.
I got to go wild. I got to somewhere. And
Yep.
Arkansas had a lead. What were they up? What was they? Up 9 or something?
They were.
I mean, give me the Hogs.
So you're going Hogs over Duke?
Over Duke.
I can't do it. I'll go Duke.
All right. You got UConn Duke. I got UConn Arkansas.
I'm gonna go Duke. I'm gonna go Duke Final Four. I think Shire's on a little bit of a revenge tour after falling short last year with that team.
All right. I got UConn. Sorry, Hogs. I got
You got 3-1s.
I got 3-1s. I mean, what do you mean to do? Like these teams have been really good. Let's not get ourselves, okay? So, all right, maybe I got to get wild now in this part of the bracket in the South. All right. Iowa State. Let's just advance Iowa State. Apologies to Howard and Grambling. UCLA,
Iowa
NC State.
I love both of these coaches in different ways.
Yeah.
Darn it. I wish they didn't play each other.
Everybody's
Can both of
canceling
them
their
win?
memberships right now, by the way.
Can both of them win?
No, they can't. This isn't another sport.
I'll go UCLA here. All
right. I'm going NC State. North Carolina and Akron. Give me Akron. I got to have a 5-12 somewhere. I hadn't seen Akron play a single second this year, but give me Akron.
The Zips?
Hey, they're a top 15 offensive team in the country. I'm looking at it right now. Top 15 offensive team. Give me Akron.
All right. I'll go Akron as well. I was born in Akron.
Alabama and Lipscomb.
Alabama here.
Uh-oh.
Rock lock.
Oh. Give me Alabama. High-powered second-round game between Alabama and the Zips. Virginia and Belmont.
I do think Virginia is a lot better this year, but I'm
Belmont.
feeling a little Belmont action. Yeah, I'm feeling a little Belmont action. Yep.
Give me Belmont.
Yep.
BYU
right.
and Hawaii.
BYU.
Yeah, I'm taking BYU.
Yeah.
Kentucky and St. Louis in St. Louis.
In St. Louis. How does that happen?
There's still going to be more Kentucky fans than Purdue. Oh, yeah, Kentucky. Purdue and Stephen F. Austin.
Oh, you think maybe Thomas Walkup? Honorary game? Can he sign a 1-game contract? Purdue.
You all better. You all need to be looking ahead. You know I'm already salivating over a matchup that I have now spotted and realize I have to get to in my bracket. Iowa State versus NC State or UCLA?
Iowa State.
Give me NC State. Adios to the 1 seed, Iowa State. Will Wade marches on to the Sweet 16. Alabama or Akron?
Bama.
Give me Alabama. BYU or Belmont?
BYU.
BYU. Kentucky or Purdue? I got Kentucky. I'm just going to say it right now. I'm setting up Kentucky versus BYU in the Sweet 16. It's my gut bracket, and I'll do what I want.
Oh, man. Cats. Boilers. Jaden Quaintance tells TKR, get that thing out of here. Oscar Clough, get the hell out of here. Cats.
All right. Max, I have now set up, probably in the history of the gut bracket, my 2 most exciting matchups maybe I've ever set up in one particular region. I've got Nate Oates and the Alabama Crimson Tide up against Will Wade and NC State. These 2 got some history. And then I got Kentucky against BYU, Mark Pope versus his former team. This is the greatest Sweet 16 ever. when it comes to storylines, I'm all in on these two right here. All right, we start at the top. Who do you have? You got
I've
Iowa State,
got
Alabama?
I've got Iowa State, Alabama,
Okay.
and I'm gonna say Alabama outscores Iowa State
Oh,
and upsets them.
all right. I am going to go with Alabama over NC State. I got the Tide rolling on the Elite
Okay.
Eight. Kentucky
Okay.
versus BYU.
Man, Dybance has really picked it up the last 2 weeks, 3 weeks. He's
Yeah,
playing
yeah.
insane. But you can see maybe a little one-on-one ball from BYU when the shots aren't falling, and Jaden Quaintance is rejecting shots left and right, and Mo Diabate is making life hell for AJ. I mean, honestly, if it was a BYU Kentucky matchup, I think I like that matchup for Kentucky defensively. I'm gonna go Cats. It's not even like a gut bracket, just picking an upset. I think if that's a matchup, I would pick the Cats.
To me, a player like Tabansa is the reason teams can go far is because you
Mm-hmm.
have a guy like that. Their lone loss on the season at this point is by 2 to UConn. Now, I know they had the game against Clemson where they got down, and that was maybe a little worrisome. They also only won by 4 against Dayton. They've had some close games, but that's the point, is that they have kind of a closer to where, he finds a way to close it out. But JQ just getting back, baby. I'm overreacting to everything. Give me Kentucky. I got an Alabama-Kentucky Elite Eight. Max, who we taking to the Final Four? The gut bracket finally got a little gutsy here. All right?
I'm going Tide. I'm going guards. Guards win in March. I'm not saying Kentucky's got bad guards, but man, there's no one I'm going to want more with the ball in their hands in March Madness than LeBaron Philon. Just absolutely no one. Not even Kingston Flemings. No. Give me LeBaron Philon in March.
Yeah, this is where people start to. They're so excited that we got Kentucky to the Elite Eight here, but unfortunately, I'm picking Alabama. I am gonna pick the Tide to the Final Four here. I still think the one thing, and it's fitting that these are the two teams we got here because they are kind of similar in that we have not seen either of these two teams play more than what, 1-2 games this season at most with their full team.
Mm-hmm.
So, and yet we see how good they can be. So I think it's a perfect Elite Eight matchup here. Take your pick, flip a coin. What are we going to see the next 2 months? But I'm telling you, keep that in mind with these two. I said that on an interview this morning. I said, you got to remember about Alabama and Kentucky. You could maybe make those two the favorites here going into the SEC potentially. And I'm not knocking Vanderbilt, but they are just, if they have everyone available coming into SEC play, the ceiling I think is so high for both of these two teams. So I'm going to pick Alabama for now. As Alan says, maybe there's some strategy involved here. Maybe a little KOD in effect. That's what he wants. So I don't know. Just saying. So look, Sean, listen, man. I saw Alabama 2 years ago be one of the worst defensive teams I've ever seen, and they still made it to the Final Four. I'm just saying, it's possible. It's possible. That's all I'm saying. So you can't tell us our guts wrong because it's our guts. Okay, you don't know what we're putting in there. All right, Final Four.
Final
Who we
Four.
got? I think I got chaos everywhere. No, I don't.
I've got 2 1 seeds up at the top. I've got Michigan and Arizona, but then I went with Duke as a 2 seed and Alabama as a 4 seed.
All right, so give me your national championship game, and I'll give you mine.
All right, so I got Michigan against Duke and Arizona against Alabama, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go Duke to beat Michigan in an incredible game, an absolutely incredible game, and then Arizona to beat Alabama in the Final Four. I'll go Arizona against Duke.
Okay. I'm gonna go. Oh man, UConn or Michigan?
Oh, what a coaching matchup. Dusty May against Dan Hurley, Terrace Reed and
It,
Ryba versus the Bigs.
it's a gut bracket for today. I'm going Michigan, and then I'm
Okay.
going Arizona over Alabama. So I got Michigan, Arizona, the top two teams duking it out in the gut bracket. I did this last year. How many times did I pick Auburn versus whoever last year?
Yeah.
For a while there, and then it became Florida. So yeah,
So you've got Michigan,
I got
Arizona, and
Michigan,
I've got
Arizona.
Duke, Arizona.
Yeah.
Okay. Who are you going? Who are you going? Are we That's
Uh,
a incredible matchup. Arizona against Michigan. Holy crap.
I got Arizona.
Arizona wins it all. Tommy Lloyd gets it done. Have you picked Tommy Lloyd to win a gut bracket ever? Is this the
Never,
first?
and I'm terrified at that. Um, so I'm going Arizona.
Terrified.
Terrified.
Absolutely terrified.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean
Yeah.
you're picking a number one seed that is number one in a lot of different rankings, but it feels like picking Arizona to win it all is taking a big risk in some way, just because of because of Tommy Lloyd's history and well lack of history and deep into March, and that's interesting. I'm gonna go Duke. I'm gonna go Duke. I think they're one of those teams that were grouped in with the top in the beginning of the season with you know Michigan, Arizona, and these top teams. But after the Texas Tech game, there's some cracks in the armor, falling back a little bit, and I like that. I think Shire's a really underrated coach. How about Duke?
All right. I got Arizona. You got Duke. We don't have any SEC teams, so clearly we don't know what we're talking about. No. I am going to push
Out of
back a little bit on
those
the. Let me push back on the Alabama hate real quick. People are telling me Alabama doesn't have a front court. Can anyone tell me who Alabama's front court was when they got to the Final Four? Um, when was that? What year was that?
2 years ago,
2 years
wasn't
ago.
Grant Nelson playing
It
center?
was Grant Nelson, Nick Pringle, Jaron Stevenson,
Yeah.
absolute studs in the front court, right? I mean, they were loaded in the front court. So I will give you your argument on that one. You may be right, but I think Alabama offensively is good
hmm
enough to get hot, and so we'll see.
Well, so there's always I feel like there's always a team. Oh, not last year. Last year was the all four one seeds, but I feel like most years there's always that one team that either their offense is like top five in the country, and then their defense is way out, or flip
It's
it, their
just
defense is top
yeah,
five and their offense is way out. Like
yeah,
that Miami team that beat Chris Beard's Texas to
yeah. How
make the
about
Final
that?
Four. Their
Yeah,
defense was horrible, but
yeah,
their offense was like top five in the country. Um,
yeah.
that San Diego State team that made the championship, their offense was terrible, but their
Dude,
defense was number one.
I'm looking up Alabama's numbers from that year. I just forget like how bad they were defensively. They were a terrible defensive team. They were a terrible rebounding team. Like they didn't force any turnovers. They couldn't defend inside the three. But I guess that's kind of the point, right? Sometimes just get a team that gets a path and they get hot. And I don't know, man. What a weird statistical team that was. My goodness. Um, anyways, we'll see this year. Front court's got to get better. And let's be honest, that was kind of the story of the all offseason. All we talked about was the front court. But we'll see. I mean, it's interesting. Like the rebounding numbers are very similar from that team a couple years ago, although that team was a better offensive rebounding team. Defensive rebounding numbers about the same, and the defensive numbers are better. But yeah, what does that mean? We'll see. All
Well,
right.
the thing is, Blake, right now, like picking teams to go far in the SEC, you can either all these top teams, you can either say they don't have the front court or they don't have the back court to win in March.
Yeah.
Vanderbilt and Alabama, you can say they don't have an elite front court that it's going to be able to handle Michigan's and Arizona's. Sure.
Yeah.
Florida and Kentucky, you could say right now, at least with Jalen Lowe playing with half an arm, do they have the point guard play to, they can win 6 games in a row in March? And then with Tennessee, it's like the consistent offense. Do they have the perimeter shooting? Do they have the consistent 3-point shot to make it like all of the? That's why it's hard right now to pick a SEC team to make the championship game, make the Final Four, because all of these teams that are grouped kind of at the top of the league have like a clear identified flaw against an elite team like a Michigan or Arizona. It's hard to pick them deep.
Well, and I think too when you're doing the gut bracket, right, which is why we have so much fun with this. Sometimes going to go back to, and we kind of laugh about the gut part of this, but like it's true. My gut tells me what SEC coach do I trust the most right now in this bracket. And like to me, it's Nate Oates, like because I've seen him do it. I've seen him work his magic and get there. I've seen him do it with a team that statistically did not feel like they could get there. And like that's where like Todd Golden, well, why wouldn't I pick him? They just won the national championship. Well, they run into a tough matchup. Like not that Alabama wouldn't either, but it's like gut bracket wise. I had chaos with NC. I almost took NC State. I'm not gonna lie to you. I almost had to go all in on Will Wade and the Wolfpack, but I didn't. I wanted to, but yeah.
You know what? What stuck
fun.
A fork in my chaos was Iowa getting Houston. That just stuck a fork in my chaos there.
Yeah, that was
tough matchup there for the Hawkeyes.
All right, $5 super chat. Big get a reach here on the way out. Rewatch the final 5 minutes of Florida versus Houston national title last night. My version of the Christmas movie. That's tremendous. Max did not rewatch that. So yeah, probably didn't happen. Big get a reach.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah. So there you have it. All right. Yeah, you're right, Big Gator EJ. It's the anti-Vanderbilt argument. Don't know if their front quarterback will hold up against elite teams. The other SEC teams, no. Maybe.
I think their backcourt will, but their front court, you definitely have that.
I was going to say, I don't have many questions about their backcourt holding up. I don't have any questions about that, to be honest. Unless you get a game like Memphis where I don't know how many SEC teams are going to pressure like that. I really don't. Like, they may see it on tape, but I don't know how many are going to do that. We'll find out. So,
but like if we're previewing Vandy against Michigan, it's like, all right, how are we dealing with Yaxel, Morris, Johnson, Ade Mara? It's like, okay, geez,
don't
man.
Like it. Don't like it.
Yeah.
Not a fan. Yeah. All right, we're out of here. A little, again, pre-Christmas gut bracket. Don't overreact to this, folks. In the comments.
Having a little fun.
It's fun. It's 2 days before Christmas. Everybody's just getting ready for the holidays. Our second gut bracket of the year. Do you remember who our first gut bracket? Because I don't. I don't remember.
Yeah, I had Texas Tech in the championship game losing to I don't know who.
I don't remember. I could not even tell you who won my first gut bracket. I don't even know who had the Final Four. I don't remember any of it. So we'll have to. It's on the channel. Go back and find it. I don't know. So
I still don't feel good about a national champion. Like I don't feel great picking Michigan with Elliot Cadeau and Roddy Gale leading the squad to win 6 games in a row. Tommy Lloyd hasn't done it yet. UConn's got some flaws.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, I have no idea. All right. So remember, coming up next, we're going straight now to our MVP and Legends special mailbag. Ask us anything. We do it every week. We're heading over there right now. So if you're on the channel, go to the main page. You'll see the link there. And we're going to give you our answers to your questions before Christmas here. So shout out to Sean.
Doesn't have to be just basketball either.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be. It's literally ask us anything. We have so much fun with these. So head over there. You got to sign up to be an MVP or a legend to join that special one. So if you're currently on the supporter tier, MVP tier, only $2 more a month gets you all of our weekly and monthly bonus content. So including our special live stream coming up shortly. So, all right. Merry Christmas to everyone. Again, enjoy. This will be outside of the members thing we do. We'll be live again on Friday. Will be the next time. We're going to plan on doing the award show, our non-conference awards on Friday. That is the tentative plan right now. So enjoy the next couple of days. And yeah, we'll still have content here on the channel. All that good stuff coming up. Bowl predictions still to come.
Blake Barr. Video
Blake
games
Barr
coming up.
We'll get back to that soon. Just the schedule has not, we just hasn't worked out too well so far, except for one episode of Blake Bar. It'll be back soon. So, all right, we're heading over to the members. Join us there. Sign up. Hold on. In case some of you want to sign up, let me just give you the link real quick. And anything else, Max, we need to attend to in the chat. Sean became an MVP, so Sean's going to hop in there. I see that now. Doesn't always tell us what people are upgrading to, but okay. Sam still got to do his show with Chris Lee, the Legend Show. Other Legends will get their show soon as well after Christmas. So, all right. Appreciate you guys. We'll talk to you soon here at Southeastern 16, presented by FanDuel.